Hello, Ducklings. Welcome to episode 2 of Butoracs Books Reviews. It's a working title. What are you going to do? I like Butoracs books, and then the reviews part doesn't seem to flow. So, I don't know. I'm working on something. Hopefully it'll be better. In the meantime, you just have to deal with it. Today, extra special review. The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Probably not. Kazuo Ishiguro. Ishiguro. I don't know. I don't think I'm really capable of pronouncing it 100% correctly, but whatever. So, very famous British author, wrote a book called Never Let Me Go that people like. The Buried Giant is another one. But this is his main one. This is the one. I'm going to jump right into the recommendation. Would I recommend it or not? Short answer, yes. It's one of my all-time favorite books. I think one of the best books of all time. Long answer, yes, if. If you are an English teacher, yes. If you are an English major, yes. If you like British literature, yes. In other words, if you're an English nerd like myself, you like to read, you like literature, then this is one of the great books that you will ever read. If you're more of a casual reader, I don't know. Give it a try, but you don't have to force yourself through it. If you like, Jane Austen or some of these other writers, then it's kind of like got that flair to it. So this book is about a British butler. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's about him as a butler and all his butlering that he does and what his definition of a great butler is. So, yeah, I mean, if you like Downton Abbey, that kind of thing, Mr. Selfridge, British stuff like myself. I just love British stuff. I don't know what it is. I just love that British stuff. So, if you like all that stuff, you like this book. If not, give it a try or not. It's up to you. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about the details. So this book is about a British butler named Stevens. And on a basic level, it's about him and the sort of conflict that he had with the Lord that he served for many, many years. It's kind of cool. It's got a historical narrative where the Lord gets involved with the Nazis. He's British, but he kind of gets like hoodwinked and tricked by the Nazis. And, it's a conflict of whether or not he's a good or bad person. So that's a cool narrative. He meets with, famous diplomats, and Stevens is there, and he gets to see everything behind the scenes. And then he reads what people write about him. And so there's really cool World War I and II historical narrative that plays out. So if you're interested in that, you probably like it. There's also this narrative thread where he really he considers what it means to be a great butler. And on the surface, this may seem boring, stupid. But if you can get past that, and he gets into the concepts of like, what does it mean to, what does it take to live a meaningful life, a moral life, a good life. He is someone who is absolutely dedicated to and passionate about his job. And, I don't know much about butlers other than what the average American knows from Batman's butler or whatever. But you get to see this idea, again, if you think of Downton Abbey, you think of Carson. He's very much a Carson type character. So that's but I love that British stuff. So I enjoyed it. And again, if you're interested in it, then you'd enjoy it. Probably the most interesting part for me is his exploration of sort of what it means to do great things, or to be, to have a great passion or a great skill. He says, what does it mean to be a great butler, right? But it's really a bigger exploration of like, what does it mean to have a great passion and to be great at something. There's a lot of really cool scenes in the book. There's a lot of comedy. Oh, before I get to that, I got to tell you about the language. The language is what separates this from like an average. The language is what makes this like great literature. I mentioned Jane Austen earlier, and it really falls under this long-winded, super, very subtle type of language and sentence structure. So British. Well, I don't have a good passage prepared. Probably should have done that. That's what a good book reviewer would have done. I don't have a good passage prepared, but you can open up almost anywhere and just start reading, and you'll find this very formal, very British, what Americans think of when they think of the British. But what's fantastic about it is it's very. I use this term, even though it sounds like a snobby, this English teacher thing. I don't care. It's exquisite. The language is exquisite. It's masterful, and he speaks in a way that is long-winded and drawn out, but it's very circular, and it always comes back to some main point. And he does that a lot. He'll talk about one thing, he'll sort of go off on a tangent, and he'll bring it back. A lot of really layered, complex writing. The type of writing where one sentence says one thing on the surface and then 5 other things beneath the surface. So it's really masterful, and sometimes I just marvel at how the heck Ishiguro was able to do that. I mean, it's just so skillful and so deep, you know. So this butler, he's involved with all this World War II stuff. He sort of has this love interest, but he can't sort of pull himself away from his role as a butler to have a relationship with this person, and so he misses out on that. There's this whole narrative with his dad, who's also a butler, who he admires greatly, and when his dad dies, there's this moving scene that is so restrained. Everything in the novel is super restrained. I feel like I'm rambling a bit, so I'm going to back off on this a little. Here's the deal. If you like British stuff, you like fancy British stuff, you like literature, you like English, pick this book up. You will not be disappointed. It will be mind-blowing for you. It just gets better and better. I've read it probably 2 or 3 times. But keep that caveat in mind. And if you do read it and you are interested in it and you are an English nerd and you have a similar experience especially, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Send me a message or comment or whatever. Let me know. Like and subscribe, all that other YouTube stuff. Again, Butoracs Books Reviews, working title. The Remains of the Day by Kazuo Ishiguro. Check it out. Let me know. Peace.